Well, the last 3 or 4 years, as you can imagine. Well, it's certainly more than that, but today is possible because I did take Teresa to Salzburg, as you heard earlier, asked her to marry me. I'm glad as you see today, she obviously said yes, and that's why we're here, because of Teresa. And like I've told her many times, I love her very, very much. So thank you, Teresa. As you heard the registrar say today, during the day, close family and friends, and that's what you are. I personally, and I know Teresa's had a good 3 or 4 weeks with 10 days and snack days and so on and so forth, and no doubt you'll hear a little bit more about that very, very shortly. Thank you, Gary. Philip. But today is all about you guys. You know, we wanted you here to be with us on this day, and again, I thank you very, very much indeed for turning up. And for the gifts that you've given us, and we've got a good evening ahead of us as well. So hopefully you can all make it back to children's school in the not too far distant future. So thank you very much indeed for all attending. Thank you.
So can I just make a quick health and safety announcement that no climbing on the tables and chairs for the standing ovation at the end of the speech, please. And secondly, following the speeches, Chunky will be singing the old standard, "I'm dancing tonight with tears in my eyes because the girl in my arms is a boy." You know they say that marriage is an institution. Well, I know Steve's parents always thought he'd end up in one. Moving a little bit off of what Gary and myself was sort of going, we was looking at the service today, and one of the songs I thought was very apt for Teresa. When you think on her wedding night, Steve's manly figure, "Climb Every Mountain," really does. Done it, really does. But anyway, can I firstly compliment the bride? I think you will all agree with me to say that Steve is an extremely lucky man. Teresa looked a picture today, so with Teresa looking like an oil painting, it's fair to say Steve looked more like an oil slick. So as I'm now talking about Steve, the first thing I have to say is that it's typical for the first time that I've sat down to dinner and I've never had a fight over a bread roll. You would never believe the fights I've had to get my bread roll at the carnival dinners. So it was a pleasure today. In fact, Mr. Wright let me have 2 bread rolls. So in true tradition, duty of the best man is to let the bride know just what sort of man she's married. So let's start at the beginning. Steve Wright was born on the 19th of August 1961. Interestingly enough, 1961, the Berlin Wall was built. And also the famous Bay of Pigs incident in Cuba. So there goes the proof that 3 things bad things usually comes in 3s. Starting at the beginning, Steve John Wright was born on 19th of August 1961. After starting school at Somerset Bridge, a young Steve Wright started showing ability in athletics, believe it or not. And in particular, running. Of course, you can look at Steve today and still see the athletic. Unfortunately, the 6-pack is now turned into the 6-pack. Still you can see Gary and myself as the perfect one. You see, Steve was a happy, fun-loving child. Always always smiling mischievously and getting most fun from taking tires off toy cars. How little did he know back then that he would be trying to remove a tyre before his wedding day? That's the one round his waist. Moving on from Somerset Bridge.
Then we'll be going into the Beach Boys tribute band and some 60s hits. And then Nobby will take us up to the ungodly hour of what time, Nobby? 12:30. Were you a part-timer or what? Anyway, so for those of you who are at the wedding today, me and Phil were in full flow. We were curtailed. We're going to finish it off now. So those who've joined us this evening, welcome. And you just have to join us for the finishing off part, if you like. So at this stage, earlier on, we were going to ask Steve and Teresa to come to the, well, we were going to present them something. Because we're in a different location, different geography, we need them to come down to the front. We'd like to present them something.
If you're ever down the house, you know, he's got bottles of Rolsh and cider and brandy all over the place, but we thought we wanted a real nice special bottle to present him to be pride of place in his collection. So, Gary, could you do the honours, please?
It all started early that morning in Feb. The alarm started ringing while snug in our bed. Arising at 3:30 with sleep still in our eyes, to head off to Bristol and soar through the skies.
The galleries, a pint, it was still only 4, but soon came the coach just outside the door. On to the airport to check ourselves in. More beer, more lager, and even a gin.
It was soon in the air and off towards Spain. Forget about England, the fog and the rain. Mallorca, the sun, the sand and the sea. And an average temperature, I am pissing you, and an average temperature of 70 degrees.
The hotel was plush, much to our delight. The large outside pool was a wonderful sight. At this point we made a bit of a pig's ear. We all should have gone for our first Spanish beer.
Some of the brave went straight in the deep. We were soon regretting that first fatal leap. The water so blue and looked so pleasing hid the main fact that the water was freezing.
A scream and a yell, a swear word or two. We soon all got out, our willies cold blue. We all realised it was one step too far. Oh well, we'll just have to go head to the bar.
4 pints later was taking its toll. It soon became obvious we'd all lost control. Every time we said come on we should go, the answer came back as a unanimous no.
Eventually we moved up to the town to explore Polmanova and what could be found. The plan was to head off down to the bay. Unfortunately, another pub got in the way.
A quick bite to eat and some more Spanish ale. I think you may guess the end of this tale. You could now see the odd person starting to list. Only here for 3 hours.
You told me you weren't going to put that word in.
Alright, we were drafting more lager with vodka and Red Bull. The pace couldn't last, it was still 4 p.m. We began to wonder where this would all end.
Back to the hotel to change for the night. We must have appeared a sad, sorry sight. But some did not make it. The day took its toll when the few headed off to the next watering hole.
The evening session went almost to night. At 4 in the morning the end was in sight. The groom was still there now, looking quite drab, but not drab enough for a king-size kebab.
Back at the hotel at an hour past 4, we stumbled into the hotel's front door. Back to the room and finally to bed, to awake the next morning with a bloody sore head.
A breakfast helped fade the blues all away, and now to decide what to do for the day. All donned in t-shirts and back up the town. A crazy golf competition over 3 separate rounds.
Back to the hotel, tonight's the big night. All dressed to the nines, we looked a sad sight. Dark glasses, a bright shirt, along with a hat, the Blues Brothers abroad. God, we all looked a prat.
It was pub after pub. At Joker's we did stop. A cabaret compere caught us all on the hop. He called up Lee Savage to sing us a song. as the bar emptied out and he thought, what have I done wrong?
And onto the stage came the next cabaret act. 2 drag queens, quite pretty, well fancy that. And onto the stage a victim did go. One Mr. Jason Bracewell joined in with the show.
It didn't take long before clothes were stripped off, down to his boxers. Enough is enough! But the queens hadn't finished and tugged his pants down. 1 meat and 2 veg. Huge cheers all around.
Testosterone levels had shot through the roof. All this from watching just 2 foreign puffs. Even Chunky got carried away, proposing to John Knight. Oh, what a gay day.
Steve right at the back sat with eyes all agog. He'd eyed an escape route out through the bog. But the booze was too tempting, he wasn't a fool, so he drank 2.5 jugs of vodka and Red Bull.
Steve with a hangover is not a good sight. You had to feel sorry for his self-inflicted fright. But a few hours later, we're back up the bar. Some football, some food, and 1 and 2 jars.
Our last night was quiet. We drank ourselves out. Let's go for a curry was a jolly good shout. But the waiter cocked up. Oh, what a mistake. Steve got the wrong curry. Christ, didn't we pay?
But all was forgotten. We went up the town. More bevies, some singing and dancing around. Some went back early, others stayed out. But we're off home next morning, there was never no doubt.
A coach and a plane and we're all home at last. One hell of a weekend drifts off in the past. As best men our duty to get the groom home, to Teresa so sad, at home all alone.
So here we all are, the wedding, the lot. Both of them signed their names on the dot. The 2 of them sat there, and what a nice sight. So Teresa has tracked down her own Mr. Right.
Thank you very much.
That was brilliant, wasn't it?
You know we always turn up from.
Free sparkling.
And that girl